when I started my business, I quit the job that I was working, and you guys might, if you have watched this other video, I mean, I was working as an executive assistant, and it was an awful situation. Now, when I say I quit, I actually gave the guy like 3 weeks notice, and he just wanted to be awful about it and was like, oh, I think you must be really busy right now, so how about we'll just make today your last day. Yeah, it was not good. And obviously I should have been looking for another job, but what I did was I like locked myself in my friend's office. I didn't even have like a nice computer at that time, and I built my entire first website. Now, I built a WordPress website because that's what I knew how to do, but it took me a really long time to make it have the look that I wanted, and I should have gone with Squarespace at the very beginning. I think Squarespace was really, really new at that time, and so when I came across it, they didn't have as many templates as they have now. And you know, it cost a little bit of money, but like, I don't know. I mean, I spent money on my own website, but I did all the design myself. And Gabby, my very first website it was very simple. I mean, it looked really good. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, for doing it all myself, it looked really good, but it was a one-page website that like had the sections. It was very kind of like minimalistic. I had the best picture of myself that I had at the time, which was like I hate to say it, it was a selfie, but it looked really cute. I mean, it was a cute selfie, but I had this selfie that like I made like black and white. It really looked like somebody else took the picture. It was not like me in my car. You know, a cute selfie. And then I actually streamed, I set up this widget that streamed my Pinterest pins onto my front page. So basically all the pictures that I had on that very first website, not a single one of them was my own picture. Like, it was like almost like a collage or like a mood board of all the stuff that was on my Pinterest, and I've been really into Pinterest for a really long time. Separate topic. But I have been pinning stuff that is like gorgeous, like beautiful, you know, insides of, you know, kitchens and, you know, home decor stuff. Like I really had like a lot of content there that I really think spoke to, you know, my taste, like, you know, you said earlier. I really think spoke to my taste, and it kind of portrayed like my sense of style better than, you know, me putting up like the before, like, and I'm just giving y'all an example, but I could have like gone and done like some sample before and after pictures at like my family's house or my friend's house, but it really didn't have like that high end like look and feel to it. And I will tell you guys this, I mean, I've mentioned this in other places. I didn't start with before and after pictures. I had no testimonials. I had no, I didn't have any like real experience as a professional organizer. I had I had other business experience as, you know, the executive assistant, and my ex-husband and I owned a restaurant together, so I kind of like wrapped that in. But like, I got my very first client, I had none of that stuff. And my very first client paid me a lot of money. And so I was just like, oh, like all the stuff that the internet tells you that you have to get hired as a professional organizer is not necessarily true, because here I just did this, you know. Sorry, I kind of got off your topic about the website thing, but like the website itself, I think really conveyed a sense of, you know, knowing what I was doing as far as like the aesthetics of, you know, I know a website is very different than your house, but it's really kind of the same thing. It's like, you know, I'm really, you know, you're trying to convey that you know what you're doing and that you have a good sense of style. Like, you're not just going to go into somebody's house and slap a bunch of plastic containers together and say, oh, your stuff is organized now. Like, you really want to be like, okay, my, you know, organizing solutions are really going to blend with the rest of your home decor. Like, it's not going to look like something that came from the Dollar Tree. Like, it's all going to go together. So my very first website, I did not pay anybody to do it, and that was a really crucial, I mean, it saved me money, but it also made me a ton of money. Like, so that's why, like, in my free course, I tell you guys, there's only 3 things that you need to get clients. One is a website that looks as awesome as possible. It does not have to have like tons and tons and tons of information. It does not need to tell these people everything you have ever done in your life and like why, like every single like how like room in the house that you can organize. It needs to like it needs to show you, like, about you. It needs to be as professional looking as possible, with like as professional a headshot as possible. And like I said, I started with something that was not professional at all, but I made it look good. And you know, you need to have like have your story worked out. Like I used to be a teacher, and now I'm working as a professional organizer. Like, for example, that could be your story. Like, you just need to kind of like have a sense of like why it is you're doing this and why you love it. Sarah says, interested to know why you should have started with Squarespace. Squarespace is okay. I have made several websites on WordPress over the past, well, since I graduated college. I've done several for people. So I knew WordPress. I did not know how much easier Squarespace was. It's like the evolution of like doing your own website. I truly believe that if you guys have the willingness to Google what you don't know, and you kind of have, if you have a vision for what you want your website to look like and what you want your brand look and feel to be like, that you could do that on your own using Squarespace rather than hiring a designer. That's pretty much it. I mean, if you need more resources for, graphics to go on your website, or ideas for your branding, like first of all, I have a ton of stuff pinned on my Pinterest, like specifically for you guys, but also like, I don't know, just email me, like, let's talk about it. Cause I would love to help. You don't have to be the most perfect in the world, but if your website is easier to read, looks prettier, and does not overwhelm your potential client, you will get their business. You will get the client's business. That's how important I feel like it is. So, so what I did naturally, because I kind of obsess on things, is once I kind of had my website going with my business, and I saw like, how effective it was in getting me to the kind of clients that I wanted, I would just like sit there and redesign it over and over and over again. I mean, not like every day, but like every month. And that wasn't the most productive thing to do. I mean, I didn't need to, your return on investment might not be infinite. Like, it just needs to be good enough. But I did not actually, I moved my website and redesigned it for the last time, like last summer, and I moved it over to Squarespace, and I was just like, oh my God, why did I not do that from day one? It was so much easier. And it was just so, like, their templates are like legitimately, almost ready for you to use. Like, you put in your pictures, you put in your text, and you're done. Oh, okay. Debbie says, yikes, I've been working away on Wix website little by little. What does Squarespace have that Wix doesn't? I would say I'm 3/4 through. Okay, Debbie, the only reason, the reason why I recommend Wix in my free course is because I wanted to give you guys only free resources. Squarespace does cost, I think their lowest price is like $12 a month, but like, there's nothing wrong with starting with Wix and moving up later. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I really think that, again, like, your website is more like not overdoing it, rather than, I think you can have a really simple, beautiful Wix site, and it could be more productive for you and get you more results than like a Squarespace site that you have just like cluttered up with too much information. Like, you don't want to be that ironic professional organizer that can't organize, like, the things you're trying to say. So I think it's just about how well you do it. So don't worry at all about that. Okay, Susan says, Debbie, I'm Wix and it's fine. Oh, I saw Susan's website tonight and it was beautiful. It was really great. I still haven't looked at it on my computer, but I'm gonna get there. I think I love what you're doing with your pictures, because, and you have like actual before and after photos, which I think go really well with what you're doing with staging. So you're not necessarily, and you guys, like, I'm not against before and after pictures across the board. It's just, I think that they need to be kind of strategic. And that means, do you need to show everything that you have ever done? No, but like Susan, she's showing like the difference between a house that is, not cluttered, but it's not staged either. So it's kind of plain. And then she shows, here's what the staged house looks like. And I think that that is awesome. But I do think that like there's a point where having like badly lit photos of like every before and after that you've ever done is like a little much and doesn't really communicate, like, it kind of loses its effect. for me personally. Oh, so I know I've touched a lot on like my personal story of how I broke a whole bunch of rules and still made a lot of money. But I did not start with before and after pictures, and I have never ever to this day published before and after pictures, and I have never had a problem getting a client. That now, I mean, in terms of the ways that I get clients, I don't. That is not what I base it on. Like these days I'm like very heavily based on referrals, so that is not as important to me. But like to me, the overall aesthetic of my website speaks more to the kind of person I am, or the kind of thing that I'm going to bring to your house, and I mean the kind of energy that I'm going to bring to your house. And I also think the testimonials are more important than before and after pictures.